This is the brand new Zhiyun Weebill 3S gimbal. It's an upgraded version of the original Weebill 3. Quite a few advancements on it, and if you notice, for one thing, it has quite a heavy payload capacity. This is a Sony Cinemaline FX3 with a Sigma Art 24-70, and it's balancing this just fine. And not only that, but you can trigger recording through this gimbal as well. So let's talk about it. This gimbal is able to dial in your f-stop straight through the gimbal, as well as trigger recording, both wired like on this FX3 and wirelessly through Bluetooth like on this Sony ZV-E10. One thing that stands out when you're looking at this gimbal is the base. They've redesigned this master control wrist support and the sling, and this gives you a couple extra points of contact on the gimbal. And we're gonna turn stabilization off inside the camera on both the Sony FX3 and the ZV-E10 so we can see what this gimbal is really doing. Hey guys, Ray Valencia here, back with another video. Just your friendly neighborhood filmmaker here somewhere special today. We're at Universal Studios Orlando. I would say welcome to sunny Florida, but it actually just rained here. You can see the rainbow back there in the background. But anyways guys, in this video we're going to be diving into this brand new gimbal from Zhiyun, so let's go ahead and hop into it. Setup on the Weebill 3S was very intuitive and simple. Install the tripod feet to the master control base, and then lock the gimbal into place, and you're ready to balance your camera. There are locks on each of the axes, which is something that you usually find in more of the premium gimbals, but you're able to lock each axis as you're balancing each of the motors. So you just find your balance for each motor by moving the camera back and forth on each axis, and then angle the gimbal over to the side to see if the carriage swings over to either side, and then adjust accordingly. The Weebill 3S does come with cables for controlling all your different cameras, but the results are going to vary based on your camera manufacturer. With the FX3, I'm able to control the f-stop with the control wheel, and I'm able to trigger recording. And for some reason, my Sony ZV-E10 doesn't have a Sony multi-port on it, so the cable doesn't do any good there. Although with the new Bluetooth 5.0, you're able to trigger recording with the gimbal. Alright, let's say you want to be able to quickly switch between horizontal landscape mode and portrait mode. Well, this base plate is actually removable, the whole thing, so you can quickly adjust it over to a vertical mode without ever removing the camera from the base plate. You simply just slide this whole bracket off, flip it vertically, and tighten it back down, and then you're immediately ready for vertical video shooting mode. So really cool that you're able to switch around. That's just one of the many upgrades they added to the 3S. So let's go ahead and talk about the rest of them. To control the Weebill 3S, it's actually quite simple. The controls are all easy to reach, and they actually offset the record button and the mode button and this joystick over to the side, so you never really have to readjust your thumb back to this position. You can just use the wrist rest, and then you can reach all the dials here with your thumb, because your thumb is just kind of free here whenever you have this wrist support added. So it's kind of cool. You just have a few controls. You use this mode button here to go between pan follow, lock, and follow mode. And then you double tap it to get into POV mode, vortex mode, and portrait mode. You have a power button and the menu button here on the side, and then this button here controls the light. You just hold it for 3 seconds and that powers on the light, and then you can control the brightness and the color temperature with the wheel here. For the trigger, you can hold it to go into go mode, which is kind of like a sport mode. You can double tap it to reset your horizon, and you can triple tap it to go into selfie mode. And then you have the control wheel here, which you can customize to whatever you want. By default, it controls the roll. I changed mine over to adjust the f-stop. So not only are you able to switch quickly between landscape and portrait shooting with this removable plate, but you're also able to use it with third-party plates as well. Like I have this plate here that has a built-in Arca Swiss in the back of it. So I'm able to just quickly slide on and off a camera that has a peak design clip on the bottom of it or something in that realm. Which means if you have multiple cameras, you can have one camera on this plate and you can have another camera on the plate that comes with the gimbal. The Weebill 3S also charges pretty quickly. It charges with quick charging and power delivery, so you're able to do it in about 2 hours. And the battery life on the original Weebill 3 was supposed to be around 21 hours, but the advertised power or battery life on this gimbal is only about 11.5 hours at a standstill mode. So I'm kind of wondering what's different about the battery in here. It is a different way that it connects as well. I'm finding that with constant use, I'm getting about 4 or 5 hours with the heavy FX3 and about 6 or 7 hours with the Sony ZV-E10. By the way, there are 2 combinations you can get. You can get just the gimbal and the tripod feet and the cables you need to connect to your camera, or you can get this combo kit for $439, and that has the removable bottom plate here. And then this allows you to have the wrist brace, which is fully adjustable. You're able to just crank this knob and raise it or lower it however is comfortable for you. And then same thing for the support arm. It actually is a telescoping arm that you're able to adjust the height on, or if you want to make it nice and short and then have it as a dual-handed gimbal, you can actually do it like this configuration. And the combo also comes with this big backpack that actually holds the whole gimbal. It separates out just like this, and then you can put things in the bottom here, and then tons of room here in the top, so you can actually put a stand here on the outside if you like as well, or if you like an extension or a monopod. It has some other, tightening clamps. You also have a front pocket here for your different accessories, but this thing is a little bit big. I'm able to fit the entire gimbal into the top of this small Brevity jumper bag, so I don't usually bring this with me, especially if I'm going to the park or something like that, but this does come with that combo kit. So I actually added one of these little slings onto my RS2 gimbal to make it a little more nimble for these underslung mode shots. But the great thing about this one is you can also adjust it to be on the side like this, and then you have a two-handed gimbal. So you're able to just get a little bit more stability with this nice little wrist rest. The great thing about this wrist rest is you don't even have to use your thumb basically, and your thumb can be free to use the joystick or whatever you need to do, or use the controls or hit the record button, because this takes all the weight off and puts it on your wrist. All right, so it started raining and we're forced to go inside, and this is the darkest place inside Universal. It's pitch black in here. The cool thing about this gimbal is it has a built-in fill light. I'll click it on now. So there you go. So now we're able to see inside this pitch black environment with this gimbal. So if you're in a pinch or something like that and you need to use this fill light, you have that option. It even does a lot of great work here in the daytime as well. You can see I have a nice little fill light, so there you go. Kind of a cool little feature, but it's on there. And if you're feeling a little extra or you need some light, you could put a light or an accessory on this sling handle. Like I have this Zhiyun Molus X100 light. It's a battery powered 100-watt light with a little mini softbox, but I'll have links to this if you're interested in checking out my video on this really cool little powerful light. So this is just another cool little option that you could do to have portable lighting on such a small, lightweight little gimbal. One thing I really like about the Weebill 3S is that it's really easy to balance. There's nothing crazy about it. There's just a couple little locking levers. You just slide a couple things back and forth and you're set up and ready to go. I also like the fact that this wrist brace and this side sling handle are removable because it just makes it a little bit more compact and it decreases the footprint. So you're able to take this in a jumper bag. Like I have this small brevity bag, but I was able to fit the extra sling handle in here. But when configuration when I went to Disney, then I actually didn't bring this along with me and it actually worked out just fine. But it is nice having this extra support for the different functions you can have. It's also nice to be able to just simply hold it out like this or film yourself, you know, with a couple different angles and different ease of access with this handle. So I really like this thing more than I thought. The wrist brace part is actually extra good. I would say that the build quality of this gimbal actually really surprised me. It's really high quality and the materials just feel really good. The seams and everything with the rubber and the battery grip are just all really tight and just really well made. I like all the design and everything that they did and just made it really compatible with my use. So I'm digging it. All right guys, that does it for me today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and leave me a comment if you have questions about anything at all. Of course, the links to everything will be down in the description below. And as always guys, shoot for the stars and I'll see you very soon in the next video.